I'm late. I'm alive. Boy, oh boy. Okay. Hi. Sorry, I was otherwise occupied. Hello, everybody. How are you? If you got a one page, I'll solve it. All right. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's been a day. We've been having a day. I don't know about anybody else here, but everything breaks down at the same time. Both our dishwasher and, hey, Joshua. How you doing, buddy? Both our dishwasher and our vacuum at the exact same time. Everything in our house is going to be dirty. No, our washing machine's fine. I don't know. Okay, hi everybody. How are you? Yesterday I did a one page. I'm going to show you the originals in uno momento silver plate. This is the three word prompt from Dee Dee Willingham's stream. The three words are toucan, vines, and almonds. So almonds says right there at the back, but look, this time I drew them. There's a bag of almonds. Oh my gosh. Philip, eat healthy, fella. Eat healthy. Boy, oh boy, you're a growing young man. All right, so this was a fun one to do. I did it in one of my sketchbooks. This one, I call him Carlos. No, I don't. There it is. So this is the 6 panels, and so I did these with ballpoint pen and white pencil crayon, white China marker. That's what they're called, China markers with a little string. Now I can find some more. Yellow Faber-Castell marker with a little bit of yellow paint marker and a red Sharpie pen. So, oh, and then I flicked white ink, and then I got some of the white or the yellow paint marker, and I flicked that sucker with a toothbrush as well. So that's where some of this texture comes from. This fantastic little, ooh, look at me, glitter bits, right? So that's kind of fun. The cross hatch underneath, and then to put some of these additional colors and textures on top, I think sort of implies a depth. But then when I go around and you high contrast highlight the outside of an object, it sort of makes it jump forward. So just different little fartly, fiddly, pooply bits. There's the bag of almonds. Oh, it's a lot of almonds. So I took the 3-page bit of business suggestions, and I turned it into Mr. Bold and Brazen and Self-Assured Toucan, who, he said what he meant, and he flew right out of there with his bag of almonds, and then realized after the fact that what in the world, he's destabilized his entire life for almonds. People do things like that. People make these rash decisions and go running head first right into the fan blades, huh? Yeah, it's not going to work out. It never works out. How do I know this? We've all done it. The trick is not doing it again. But the reality is, we all do it again. So, Monday's page. Monday's page was the 3-page adversity bit, which was a lot of fun. That's marker and Sharpie, I think I did that in. Yeah. And then Boy Band in Space has got some pencil crayon. It's got some no, that's pencil crayon, and then all kinds of fiddly bits afterwards in the robot. And then Title Fight Tonight is traditionally drawn, and then rather than inking it, I transferred it over into black line, and then we colored it up. It's been a weird week. And then yesterday is mixed media galore. There's a marker. There's Pudenosuke, and there's watercolor, there's ballpoint pen, there's white on top of manila card, paper bag paper, whatever paper bag paper is called, pencil crayon, there's odds and sods, bits and bobs, that's for sure. But this is a fun one. And then today's almonds. So, yeah. But when you think about it, this week is adversity. About taking a kicking and keeping on ticking. And then boy band in space is just ridiculous. About, hey, look, it's a boy band, and they're going to do a concert out in space. And then I kill them all. And then title fight is senior citizen, a couple of grandmas fighting with walkers and wheelchairs, for the politics. I think that was Rachel Fleming that suggested this. It's just a great suggestion. And then this is me taking a real divergence from the page I had initially started. The one of the originals that I was working on ripped, and I just got frustrated and turned left and did a thing about working through those frustrations. And I worked through it on paper. If you get a chance to do that with your creativity, work it out, right? And then today's almonds, because almonds are yum. I got me a bag of almonds right here. I really do. So, yeah. Almonds. I'm a toucan now. Chris is losing his marbles today, folks. I've also been working on a couple of different things. I've got a couple of little different bits and bobs I'll give you a sneak peek to. Hey, how you doing, Jim? Welcome aboard. Jim says, hello, party people. This is another book that's in the process right now. Elma 12. I started it. Whee! Actually, it's quite a bit started. I just, the problem with when I did it, I drew it a certain level. And then what I'm adding to it now, I'm drawing at a different level. So, see if I can find an image for you. It's the same one. So there's the original page, and so with that original page image, there's some of the additional little doody-doos that I've added in. So, I've improved on drawing the tank for the science experiment, and the scientist scenes are better, and so that's, I'm happy that's coming together. All right, so I wonder if almonds should be the mystery word of the day. If I say the word, I hope that you're all yelling it at home. You're doing your best Pee-wee. For those that don't know, that's we're referring to P.W. Herman. Yeah, that's played by John Brolin. What is it? What's Josh's dad? Jim Brolin. I think I remember that. Yeah. I'm profound. I'm partying. I'm in fact partying and am a people. Jim says, when you think about it, aren't we all party people? A party people, essentially speaking. A party of people. Yeah. A party of persons, thank you. A party of non-defined organisms or individuals. Self-defined representatives of this race of persons and aardvarks and toucans. Okay. All right. So, hold on. I moved the book. No, I didn't. I put the book here. The book was hiding. So that's another one. It's my Michael Jackson glove. Get out of there. Just beat it, pal. All right. We got another one to check off the old Lister Rooney. It's right in front of me. There we are. Toucans, vines, and almonds. Whee! We did it, team. Or is the party today? Secret word was going to be legumes. Nobody likes legumes, Jim. Nobody. Legumes is last year's bean. Is the party due to the people or the people due to the party? The deep ethical dilemma we face. Lovely. All right, so we got a couple things. We got Haunted Dollhouse. We got text message that's sweet but autocorrects leading to a divorce or murder. Scary. I'm just scared of that. We got bicycles stacked up against spiral staircases. That was fun. That's a little complicated drawing for today. Or we can do in 500 years. We got a couple of those left. Anybody have any particular preference? Perchance? Ding! Nope. All right. In that case, we dance. Uh-oh, somebody said something. Can one actually fight for the right to party if they are indeed coming up and getting the party started? Well, if we're all coming up, you'd better get this party started. There's a party going down around here. How long can we do this for? Well, some kind of celebration. Could probably do this to last throughout the year. Hate myself a little bit. All right. All right, here we go. All right, I got the big paper out. You know what that means. What does that mean, Chris? No. Let's discover the gnome genome. Is that one of them? We've got two choices here. 500 years, we'll all have finally figured out what came first, the chicken or the egg. Or scientists, in 500 years, scientists will discover the gnome genome. Anybody got a preference to that? Come on, party people, present. Oh, there's a third one. In 500 years, the Earth is flooded with diverse creatures that science has decided will be a good idea. With lots of robots. That's the addendum to that. With lots of robots. If one party's on, does that extend the party period? And if so, for how long? And if partying hard, has the party become physically full of solidity or more difficult? I think it's solidarity. Solidity? Has the party become partying hard? Yes. My answer to that is yes. All right. Yeah, Earth flooded with diverse creatures. Scientists decided would be a good idea. Back with lots of robots. Or scientists will discover the gnome genome. Or we will finally discover what came first, the chicken or the egg. Inquiring minds want to know. Let's get started. There's a body over there. Yeah. All right. Welcome to the Josh and Jim Wacky Morning Radio Hour. Now here's Phil with traffic and the weather. I think that we need to use alliteration from this point forward, everybody. Okay? Expect alliteration in anything that we're typing today. Also, almonds. Okay. This one's purple. What color are you? What's your name? Hey, you. This one's also purple. Oh, we got some choices on our purple front here. It's gonna rain. That's not alliterative, Philip. And Joshua says, true, my dear sir. All right. I hope everyone has had a lovely day, or is having the start of a lovely day wherever you are. You know, some people it's the first thing in the morning. Maybe not. Let's see. If it's 2 here, it's 11 in California. So, you know, it ain't that early. Okay, let's get down to our wackadoo scientist and get him in here. If we're doing a 500 years from now, let's just start there. If anybody has any other thoughts or insights or anything they want to pipe in with, if you got a choice, chicken or the egg, gnome genome, let me know. In the meantime, we're gonna get cracking. Phil's Travel Report brought to you by Old Gold Beer. Taste the pride. It's a good beer. Old Gold Beer. It's in a bucket. A bucket-sized sloshy drink. Okay. I looked at the traffic report. That traffic report is brought to you by beer. That to me is fun. It's just fun. You know, so you're in the way. That's fine. Get out. Okay. Gnome genome is a boat. Chomsky's gnome genome. I will not be doing anything Chomsky. I think he misses American for things. Besides, I don't want to get him all messagey with my medium. All right. So the gnome genome is the boat. Although Noam Chomsky's gnome genome. How about Noam Chomsky as a gnome? Yeah. There's cars on the road. Philip is having a stroke, folks. Ain't nothing but a genome. There we go. Is that ain't nothing but a genome, baby? Is that what that one was? Oh my God. You guys are out of control. Okay. I think that the first thing I'm going to do is introduce our repeated character, the Dr. Corbell Johansson. Corbell Johansson. Nomenclature of the G. That I respect. Oh my God. That's a reach too. I like it. I got nothing but a genome baby stuck in my head now. Like it's a real song. Nomenclature of the G gets a star. That's too crunchy with milk. Doesn't mean I don't love the rest of it. Look, I'm throwing some more get stars on their homework. All right. So the idea today is it's one of the 500 years from now bits, which are always fun. And so I'm going to start off with presenting our ridiculous science guy. And we'll go from there. Corbell Johansson has appeared now in, I think, at least 5 pages. And every one of them, he shouts. This the last time he appeared was in the 500 Years from Now Science comes to understand the existence of the Luhhan verse. And that was a really fun collab page I did with Mr. Jim Luhhan. And we haven't seen him since, so it's about time we get a little bit of Mr. Corbell Johansson. For a guy who's appeared on so many pages, you would think I'd remember the character's name better. It always gets me because I fly so fast and loose with these pages that I can't remember. Sometimes I look at a page and go, oh yeah, which is really not great. But I definitely cannot remember names, and so I'm always impressed that Jim can remember all the names of all the characters in his animations, like all of their names. Josh says that was a great page. Oh, it really, without sounding too egocentric, it really was. But I think it is entirely because of the addition of Jim's
characters to it, so made me look like I know what I'm doing. Generally. I'll punch his glasses in here. I'll punch him right out of there. Come on, man. But, yeah, there's been some pretty good productivity. People are getting some stuff done. Excited for all these people holding up their copies of DVSM already, and which is such a great book. And because I live so far away in this land of snow and honey, I'm just joking, it's Maple. You know, it's taking a little bit longer. You know, I'm like, oh, yeah, I just keep checking the mailbox. And this morning I went, what am I doing? Look at the number. I'm like that. I'm like a child who's waiting for a Red Ryder BB gun in the morning. Josh says, I love the science character. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, the Corbell Johansson's a complete nutbag. And I like having a character who's just right out to lunch, right out in the left field. And the fact that I keep putting him in different things is starting to become a little bit, maybe I should put all those aside and do it as a separate thing, and maybe do, you know, maybe do something special, like to collect them all as a story, because this is at least 5 pages now. Who knows? 500 years from now, like he said. But the problem is the first page is 1974, because Elvis just dies. He gets the newspaper article, and that gives me an idea. And so, you know, or it could be in the future. Yes, I don't know. Joshua says he set time this weekend to read it. Yes, yeah, I don't blame you. I'm really looking forward to experiencing Gary's musical in its full intended format. Jim's going to read it this weekend too. Rub it in, guys. Just rub it in. I've already read it. It's wonderful. It really is. I was really honored to be asked to help out. So that was, and checking that he spelled fart correctly. It's, you know, not quite it, but you know what I mean. It's really strong. It's really strong. It's easily the best of the three, I think. But the problem is, that bar is already so high, right? Because the first two are amazing. So enjoy it. And if anybody hasn't enjoyed it, please look up Gary Hodges' different social places. If anybody has a connection to wherever he's selling those at, please feel free to put it in the chat. Uh-oh, Gary's here. Everybody be quiet. The first song was unique. In a new approach. So maybe we do another round of, I still got a few more to finish yet, but maybe there's a way we sit down and try to think other Corbell Johansson bits of business. Maybe he's got a time machine. Oh crap. Hi Gary. How's it going? Josh is innocent. You just join into a stream where everybody's talking about their excitement to read your book this weekend. Oh, isn't that going to fit through the door now? It's going to be so big. Don't worry, I got one of those shoehorns. We'll get you through there. We'll get you in there. Little did they know that was the day that everything went wrong. I'm just worried that Gary's going to disappear in the middle of the night now, giving away all these government secrets. I won't be doing that. He's going to have to start his own pirate radio. Oh, here comes Gary slowly sauntering down the spiral staircase in his Prada gown. What have you missed? Everything. Declarations of love, fascinations with almondes, Jim's weird legume thing. What was that, Phil? Who said legumes? Gary, do you know how to spell almonds? I'm asking for a friend. We had a pretty deep discourse on what it truly means to party. Is this a trick? Almonds. Hey! Thank you, Gary. Just today's secret word, Gary. You said it. By the way, earlier when I said Gary was a terrible creator, I meant a different Gary. He goes to a different school. He didn't. You missed it, Gary. Jim's like crying. He's got bubbles coming out of the tip of his nose. Gary stole my ideas for his book. This stream is... I can't say that next word on the stream. Someone had to make the obvious hey joke. There we go. Ah, nuts. I saw opportunity and dove in. All right. This ear is way too close. Too down. Too down. The chin is way too far away. The proportions are all touched. This isn't much better, but you know, I don't know. I'm gonna get. All right, so we got Dr. Gorbel Johansson. Let's have him looking at some, touching his chin, touching his chinny winny. You dove into that, Josh, like a big old bag of nuts. Serious question. What's your biggest hope for my art? My art? Your art? Everyone's art? What's your biggest fear? Almonds. That's a good question. Anybody want to chip in on that? Anybody want to expose themselves to that question? What is your biggest hope for your work, for your art, for your creativity, for your elastic band, whiskey jug playing endeavors? Does anybody have any big hope? I am just trying to figure out how to get stuff down. I'm just trying to figure out how to get stuff out. My problem has always been, yeah, you can do all kinds of X, Y, and Z, but it doesn't mean anybody has seen it or knows who you are. So I'm trying to get that stuff out. For those that go to my website, the first 5 pages of Stream of Conceitedness are up on my website. So I'm going to be posting the Stream of Conceitedness strip because I cannot figure out Webtoons. I think that having looked at it at this point, the format is stupid. For the, well, it's not, but I've already done these pages in this way, and I'm not retooling them all. And I see an awful lot of manga on it, so it doesn't necessarily fit. Not the place for me. An Indie Planet is the next thing to look at, and I don't know if I'll bother with that either. Okay. Josh says his biggest hope is probably readers getting something from his work. It's very honest, Josh. It's very honest and very open. Thank you for sharing that, sir. I think that's true. I think that that's very much a good, solid hope. Gary might know how to spell, but he knows how to spell all man. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Biggest fear is likely tree and forest type stuff. In Gary. I hear you. Yeah, that's another important distinction, tree and forest. Like, there's so much stuff because of the fact that so much media exists now that anybody under the sun can basically do stuff. I think that tree and forest is a reality, except for, I would say this. I don't know that necessarily is. Because if you are doing your thing and you're putting your spin on it and your style on it, it's another tree and a forest, but at the same time, there's authenticity to that. I would argue that tree and forest situation really, truly presents itself to those people that waste their time doing the fan art of corporate characters. I think that that to me feels like tree and forest. And I don't see any merit to that, honestly, because in my head it's like, it's one thing to do the occasional thing because, hey, you legitimately are a fan and you want, let me just draw this thing I really like. Yes, but when you're just sitting there spending all your time drawing all of these things owned by other people, what do you really have to say? So that's, to me, is the tree in the forest. But what you do, Josh and Gary and Jim and everybody else that's probably here, Phil, is uniquely you, and you have defined style. All right, Gary says, I think to do it, you have to believe you have an interest in your unique voice and are doing something worthwhile. But in truth, it's a hope. So the inverse of that is that you're kidding yourself, and whatever uniqueness or value you imagine your work to have isn't actually there. Maybe? I don't think so. You have to believe or act as if you have an interest in your unique voice, something worthwhile, but in truth, it's a hope. I think a lot of people do that. But truly, and I think that the people that are maybe a little bit more concerned about tree and forest than others are the ones that truly have authenticity. Because if you truly have authenticity, and if you truly have something that's yours, you're speaking from your own perspective, you're speaking from your own style of approach of drawing. You've drawn enough to develop one, first and foremost. You're not regurgitating somebody else's, or you're not giving yourself the time and discipline to develop, so that there is a real authenticity in that. And whether you recognize you have a style or not, somebody else goes, that's Gary, right? Then I can see a legitimate concern of tree in the forest. But that's the whole thing about, what's that called? Does anybody know what that's called? I think it's called, is that imposter syndrome? Image over imagine. Oh, image means imagine. Yeah, I got that. My hands shake a bit. My fears will continue to get worse to the point I can't draw. You can still draw. My hands shake. You see them? There they go. Right? I have neuropathic dystentia. That's why my fingers are crooked. You can still draw. Draw shaky. Turn it into a style. With great anticipation come great pressure, but it's self-inflicted. In related news, Gary is going to be amazing and people are looking forward to it. His book, he means. Oh, and Gary, slow down. Totally, I've heard it's the next great American comic. It's definitely got a good one, and it's definitely going to be one that's recognized and memorable. You know, when you've got the three of them together like that, bing, bong, bing. You know, as soon as you put that third out there, it's something. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of independent publishers, a lot of self-publishers don't get past 5 books. If they get to 5 books. They don't get past 5. And the reason for that is most fizzle out of steam. They get the first book done. They got their thing. They're done it. Many can work on a second. Okay, great. If you get to 3, right? If you get your third one done, you're in the rhythm. You're producing, and you got to stick to it. That's the sort of plateau shift, right? And this also counts for any sort of storytelling, right? If you're doing a bunch of shorts or whatever else, and add like a bunch of 8-page things, that adds up the same way. But as soon as you get to that certain plateau, you're off and going. It's just, it takes what time it takes, but you'll keep rolling. The difference is that when you're some of these indie publishers, when you're publishing other people, the more dependent you are on others, the more chance it's going to fizzle out, right? But you're there, Gary. You're running to it. Gary's book is sincerely rad for sure. I do think stick-to-itiveness, good word, huh? Proud of you a little bit. And longevity really is a big part of it too. If I don't levitate while reading Gary's book, oh my goodness, that's huge. It's going to be huge. Didi says so. Hi, Didi. There's definitely a quality in Gary's book, and he's already applied himself to 3 rather good quality books. He's rocking and rolling. But a lot of people, if they're self-publishing and self-creating, they tend to 1, 2, done, right? And they sure don't go much farther than that. So that's the rough stuff. It's also rough stuff that nobody really wants to hear. My stuff's gonna be great. Yeah. And the more people distract themselves with fan arts and other side quest nonsense, and I think which is fine. Nobody's saying that there's hard, fast rules. You have to stick to one thing. I don't. But the more that people distract themselves, and yet, I'm a comic artist. Well, what are you working on today? Well, now I'm doing something that's not comics. Well, Gary says levitation is not guaranteed with the reading of this book. Only about 30% of readers experience levitation. All right, 30%. That's practically 100. Minus a little bit. I'm in. I'm gonna read it now. I wasn't sure before. You gotta see a book review where I go, hey everybody, so I read this book and it made me literally rise off of my chair. And it'll show a shot where I'm holding myself up with one arm, but it looks like I'm floating. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I think that your unique and authentic voice comes through as soon as you have a productive body of work. And so that unique, productive voice from the discipline of repetitively doing things is going to allow you to not just be a tree in the forest. All that marketing and all that, depending on what forest you want to be in, is the second part of that, right? Because all that marketing and all that self-promotion and all that inclusion in whatever field, like whatever group, whatever club you want to be in, is where the tree in the forest situation comes in. If you draw like everybody else draws Fantagraphics, and you think that you're going to make some remarkable impact at Fantagraphics, maybe not, because if you're going in there with a style that's reminiscent of the same style that everybody else has, that's not going to work out. If you're a clone of somebody else, it's not necessarily going to work out. But if you go in there doing your thing because you've produced X amount of material, yeah, I think that that's going to work out. But find a place that lets you shine, I guess. Joshua says, I have my protection spells set aside to account for the inevitable levitation when I read through Harry's book this weekend. Are there more lightsabers and nunchucks in DVSM 1979? I'm not allowed to talk about that. I've been told not to talk about it. I think that there are people out there that, God love them, they're producing X amount of material, but they're still not necessarily their own voice. And that's kind of too bad, but it's just what it is. When you look at creative journeys, let's talk about Bill Sienkiewicz. Is everybody here familiar with who Bill Sienkiewicz is? You might read it as Sienkiewicz if you are Polish, but he pronounces it by the anglicized Sienkiewicz. Well, if you don't, I'm going to tell you, we could call them the Clone Wars. Yeah, we could. As many lightsabers and nunchucks as musical numbers. Gary, I wasn't supposed to talk about that. I mean, can't answer that because it's told not to. I only know those Sienkiewicz. There's Bill Sienkiewicz is an artist at Marvel Comics. He did Electro Assassin. He's far beyond Marvel now. He does all kinds of things in film and everything else now. But he even did the biography of Jimi Hendrix and the story of Santa Claus as graphic novels. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Today you're in for some fun. All right. This is Neal Adams. Neal Adams. Okay. So Neal Adams. I've got a Neal Adams drawing up there. It's a Superman drawing that he did. But this is Neal Adams. Some of his comic work, and he has a very stylized face, a very stylized way that he draws. And because a lot of artists root their facial expressions, take a peek at this one right here. See these faces, these quickly worked out faces right here. Okay, so Bill Sienkiewicz, when he started, he really enjoyed Neal Adams' work, so he drew a lot of it. He just copied it. And when he did, he clearly developed a style highly reminiscent of Mr. Adams. And so when he was doing Moon Knight, it looked like Neal Adams' work, right? Okay, I got it here. So I showed you the Neal Adams faces. And now this is Bill's Moon Knight work. Beautiful ink work, anyways. Okay, so, good Lord. Okay, so anyways, you can see in the way that he does faces, a la these, see the structure's all the same? See the style of expression? See the faces? He copied Neal Adams wholesale, right? But then he took that foundational understanding and he kept working and he kept doing things and he got more involved in mixed media because he had an art school background. So then he started, this is his biography of Jimi Hendrix, which came with an awesome CD of demos.
And so this is where Neil came out. This is a guy that did Arkham Asylum for DC Comics. It's the best Batman story ever. So this is him telling his stories now about the life and times of Jimi Hendrix. But you can see that there's an underlying structural approach to line that's still the same, and yet there's this characteristic self that comes through. So it doesn't matter if you start off as being reminiscent or being inspired or educated from the following of other people's work. You're eventually going to become your own person with repetitiveness and continuing to work and continue to develop and hone your craft and pushing yourself. I'm a big fan of that. That's how you keep from becoming a tree in the forest. Gary has stepped away for a minute. Somebody take notes. Jim, you're up for the notes? And Josh says, that's lovely work. It really is. It really is. If you get an opportunity, please look up. I'll put his name up here for you. You can't. Can you see it? Bill Sienkiewicz. Okay. That's just a couple of splashes of paint. That's not any accent or anything. In Polish, that's spelled Sienkiewicz. But this is a guy that did the Demon Bear saga for the Mutants. This is a guy that did Arkham. Oh no, Arkham Asylum is Dave McKeon. Isn't it? Yes, I think. I can't remember which one of them is. Anyhow. So he developed his own style. He stuck to it. So when he's working with ex-publishers, he's not defined by that publisher approach. He's not defined by, a house approach to making books and making stories. He has worked with a few different artists, and he's been told a couple of times when he works with these people, two things. One is they get upset and they say, don't mess up my line work with whatever weird stuff you like to do, kid. I don't want to be inked by that guy again. And by other people, he gets that they're a little bit disappointed by the inking he does because he respects their work so much. He reserves himself because he doesn't want to interfere with their line. And meanwhile, those are the artists that are like, lean in, man, do your thing, because he's an incredible inker. There's a lot to be said for folks creating the body of work first that goes against the grain and then let the chips fall where they may, like investing long-term rather than shorting, like fan art, etc. 100% agree. Jim believes that you're talking about his fine work, Josh. So, yeah, no, that's 100% agree. I appreciate that other people are doing their stuff. I do. I like that. I think that's great, and I really want to commend them for doing it. I don't want to interfere with their process whatsoever. But we all have our biases, and we all have our little hang-ups. And one of my hang-ups is if you are doing something for X amount of time and you're in a static state of non-growth, why not you give yourself that opening and go a little nuts. Go a little nuts. And have a little fun. And just try something out. In sincerity, Jim, your work for sure represents that in the best way. 100% true. 100% true. There's a reason that I asked for the In 500 Years page that this is the follow-up to. In 500 years, scientists will understand the existence of the Luan-verse. That's an addendum because the initial is in 500 years, scientists will understand the Luan verse. Like it's not understandable now, but they'll understand it exists. Is what the reason I asked Jim to work, on that page with me is because I love Jim's style, and I cannot do justice to imitating Jim's style. This is why it was a wonderful opportunity to be afforded the chance to have Jim do his style.
on that page, and did not disappoint, knocked it right out of the park. But that's how much work involved in defining and building up that style. You know, it's hard. It's hard to slog out stories. It's hard to slog out books, right? Doing a quick illustration, and you know, it has its own difficulties too. But doing stories, doing issues, especially doing 3, and you know, like Gary's just done 3 books that line up really nicely. Nice. Hey, word up, Josh. Yeah, it's to be able to do three books as in that quality and with that effort, you know, that hits it. And when we live in an industry of accommodation, I want everything now. I want all your books now. Why isn't Scott done the last book yet? Because he just did the previous book. Give him a minute, you know, like this sort of this base of people out there that are all sitting here chomping at the bit for the next thing. Those that read the material that like what Gary's done, what Scott Circlin has done for his The Young and the Dead series, they'll wait for the next issue because they've enjoyed the previous ones, right? Those people count. And if your numbers plateau and stay there until you get through those issues, you get to jump into a new crowd when you hit that trade. As soon as you get that story resolved on, then you're into your new audience that's going to chase down the trade. And because they're different people, by the way. Years of being in a bookstore, they're a whole different crowd. And there's going to be some completionists. I got to get all the things. He with the most toys wins. But there's people out there that, no, I'm waiting for the trade. And that's a trade. Those are trades, both of those. Trades worth waiting for. I think that there's something to be said for, you know, there's all kinds of things that I think that should be released that have a little bit more merit than some of the other things I've been seeing out there of late. Like, I would like to see a book of Dee Dee's collages. Now, I'm not pressuring Dee Dee, if you're still here, or anybody else to do a thing, but I'd like to see that because they're very interesting. They're very cool. And it's a ton of work behind those. And I think that doing a book like that, especially if she was to have some notes about process in there and some of the things you can try, would hit over big with her base of people. Joshua says, I was just rereading some Dave Hickey stuff. Read Dave Hickey. Good stuff. One of the big points he makes is artists need to be in it for the long-term work, for sure. Mainly addressing painters, not just chasing grant money and tenure positions. Oh, for sure. Tenure. That's not tenure. That's tenure. I think that's the worst thing to do. We need badasses building bodies of work. Yep. These collages are amazing. Indeedly do. Yeah, definitely. I think that I think academia spoils art. You know, but you know, again, like I said before, everybody's got their biases. But postmodern deconstructionism is a waste of time. Looking at art and reinterpreting it in different ways doesn't require an academic sitting in a chair going, I'm going to glue some sticks to the wall and call it a drawing. It requires somebody who's chasing the bear, you know, hunting the bear and figuring out whatever way they can to take that down, to get that new mark-making tool to take down that bear. That to me is what kicks it. Dee Dee says, thank you. But yeah, badasses building bodies of work. I like that. I really do. There's a great deal of people, I think, that we find in independent storytellers that they'll do a book, maybe 2 books. And that's that. And they're going to, well, I did this book. Okay. What are you working on now? Well, you know, okay, well, neat. but it's the self reality. It's the, how do you define self, right? Do you just find yourself as, I make books, and well, you did a book. Are you pursuing something new? Are you into painting now while you're trying to figure out a new approach to your book, or what are you doing? That's all valid. That's all viable. But it's that I make books. Me book. That's one of my little biases that are driving me crazy. That or so what do you do for a living? Yeah, my nephew can draw stuff like that. He's better than you are, but you know, keep at it there, bud. Yeah. All right. Well, so we've got our first panel established. I believe that scientists have defined the known genome as today's page we're working on. So we've got our scientists at process in the lab as defined in one static image. We've got our Dr. Carl Johansson in the image to root him in the scene. So now we get to go crazy. I always try to encourage, everybody's worried about their projects, right? And I'm not referring to people that are working on a solid project. I'm talking about, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. You're not going to do those things. And the reason that I say that those people aren't going to do those things is because the first thing you got to do is sit down and do those things. And that's the hardest part. That's the hardest thing that they're facing. Sit down. That's the challenge. That's the challenge for everybody in whatever endeavor that they're undertaking, is that you got to sit down. You got to sit down and start making marks on something. You got to sit down and start applying yourself to the story that you have in mind. Just do it. One of the problems that I used to come up with when I started RP Comics here in London, so we've put out 73 books, and all these anthologies are 4-page and 8-page bits. You come, you got, let's do. That's it. That's my platform. I don't want your weird psychosexual hang-ups. I'm not going to publish those. Go do your own thing. And seriously, I had some submissions at work, but God gave me a book where an elf kept ending up in an awkward position with his bottom in the air and something. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But it was Christmas themed. I'm not doing it. That's not my jam. But the amount of people that would come up and say, I've got this story. Do you? Cool. Love to see it. Well, you want to hear about it? Nope. Want to see it, right? Because that's what counts. Get to it. I need an artist to draw it. So have you written it down? No. You want to hear what? No. Go write it down. Find an artist. Josh says, yeah, you got to prove it. Yeah. Dee is legit. Definitely legit. I would purchase a collage book from Dee and how to make collage. That's for darn sure. Again, Dee, no pressure. I'm not suggesting you got to do that. If you were to do that, I'm saying it'd be a great book. We all need a bit of spit and vinegar to make stuff sometimes, in opposition, sometimes in support. Oh yeah, definitely. It's important to encourage people, but unfortunately for some, all the encouragement on planet Earth is not going to get a result. It's simply not. And humoring somebody until the cows come home is not going to get them in the place that they want to be, or even worse, they assume they're in. It's just not. It's not helping them out because doing it, getting the thing done, that's what's going to do it. No pressure. I'm glad. Oh, there it is. I'm glad, Dee, you're not pressured. Dee is too legit. She is too legit to quit. There you go. But the collage book would be an instant buy for me and most of our community. Now that's pressure. Nobody, no, again, no pressure. So yes, at certain points in time, if you're of the mindset that if you can't say something nice to those folks, don't say anything. Don't say anything. But don't, at a certain point, if somebody's saying, I'm this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm this, and I want to talk about this. No, I'm too busy. Because I'm trying to do things. So that's the challenge, right? Is doing that and doing that in a tactful way. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with hobbyists. There's absolutely nothing wrong with people that just enjoy doing A, B, C, D. In fact, I think that's fantastic. But allow that to be what it is, right? If you get to that flip side where you're at a certain point in your growth and you look at other people's output as, well, yeah, but nope. Can't compare a basis of apples and oranges, right? Somebody's doing what they're doing and having a good time from a hobbyist perspective. That's good. It infuriates me, and I don't use that word lightly, that the major comic companies are hiring all these nimnods to do alternate covers that don't produce material outside of just doing fan arts. It infuriates me, because there are few things worse than going into a place and buying a product and opening up that product when you get home and it's not the product. It counts for a bookshelf from IKEA. It counts for a comic book. Christopher is old school. You'll also totally run across folks that will hate what you do or tell you won't become anything. Throw those people the hell out of the room. Those people just suck as human beings. You don't like what I do, you wouldn't be here. If I didn't like what you do, I wouldn't follow, your thing or be involved in you. That's adult. That's mature. You can't help those people. This has nothing to do with art in general. That's just a character flaw. That's just a fundamental. Those people stink and don't know how to talk to the other humans. And, that's coming in from the world involving autism, where sometimes social cues and understanding when to say things and not is a real issue, and the understanding of that for me and my family. Some people don't understand, but other people who do and say that to people, they're not close enough to hit them. No, don't hit anybody, but just throw those people aside. Goodbye. I think that kind of feedback for me has always given me spite fuel. Yeah, buddy, right there. You bet it does. Yeah, sure. Why wouldn't it? Well, I think that, aside from the fact that we're going to start off with, who cares? I don't expect anybody cares, from my opinions and my thoughts on anything. I'm also not going to go out of my way to tell somebody, yeah, you suck, buddy. Hey there, buckaroo, give it up. Give it up, you suck, you loser. Who would do that to another person? But those people aren't adults. They're not functioning human beings in life. Anybody that takes the time, you really suck at roller, you really suck at roller skating there, Betty. You throw a stick at her feet when she's going through the park. That's a sucky human being. That's no different than somebody coming up to a creative, looking over their shoulder and saying something that just tears them down. Dee Dee says they're usually just mad at themselves. They aren't even trying to do their thing. Oh, more likely. Or they're jealous you are doing your thing. No, I would lean far heavier into number one. They're mad at themselves. They might not know they're mad at themselves. Their deliberate animosity towards the fact that you are doing your thing is entirely secondary to the fact of their lack of self-fulfillment. Oh, it's drawing comics. That's nice. I used to play baseball when I was a teenager.
So when are you going to do something adult? The rest of whatever comes out of their mouth doesn't matter because they just exposed their whole thing. I wanted to be a professional baseball player and it didn't happen. Now I'm going to spit some vitriol at you. They want to bring you down as an excuse for not working, or for their not working hard. Sure. Yeah. Their lack of fulfillments, their lack of the things that they wanted happened or not, right? There's always going to be those folks. And then there's always going to be those. Conversely, there's also always going to be those people that want to shop and compare the moment that they, so yeah, here's what I do. And then another adult goes, awesome, here's what I do. That's cool. I'm really looking forward to reading what you do, or looking at what you do, or tasting what you do, whatever it is, right? That's an adult way to respond. That's a true creative's way to respond. You do this, I do this, hey, right? Whether it's buying or swapping or whatever it is. But it's the one that go, this is what I do. And they go, yeah, okay, so I do this and this and this and that. They just don't care. They're so caught up in their own head. Can't help those people. I'm all about encouraging others on my stream. It's one of my goals, but you can't make people do things. No, but that's completely legitimate. And you don't, Didi. You don't make people do things. You inspire. Deal with that. No, it's inspiring for somebody else to example. Hey, here's how you descale a fish, and somebody goes, "Hey, I got fish." My examples need some help, but whatever it is, examples do far more for the benefit of others than you have to do this, you have to do that. If you want to be a part of whatever my shtick is, you got to do it. No, you inspire, Didi. 100%. I do try. Yeah, and it comes across. It's very inspirational. Or else you wouldn't have the people that you do, that legitimately are interested in the creative journey that they're all undergoing. I'm really interested and invested in the creative journey of the majority of the people that we engage with here on online. I say the majority because, not everybody. And I'm just trying to be honest. There are people in every larger system that are just on the fringes of a system and aren't allowing themselves to be in the system because they're not allowing themselves to follow through, knuckle down, do a little bit of that work, and produce that great thing that the rest of us clearly have a feeling that they're capable of. And so those individuals I'm less concerned about until they give themselves that chance. There's a million things in life that get in the way. There really are. I've got 5 kids. I've got 5 grandkids. I've got, a nervous system disorder and type 1 diabetes. And I'm still trying to do my thing just the same as everybody else has. All of their things that are here and are trying to do their things. We're all in this together. So, and we all got setbacks and we all got stuff. The trick is knuckling it down and following through for yourself. And some people don't want to hear it. Some people, oh yeah, but nope. Do it in your own time, in your own speed, in your own moments. It's not a race. It's not a competition. Do your thing, but do it. Hey, look at this cat. Inspiration is in your butt, quote Didi. Didi, do you know how much ink I've got in my butt since you told me that? Who else? CMP's here. Hi, I'm sorry I'm not keeping up. Let's try having an honors BFA and posting adult coloring on Instagram. It really does irk the establishment. Establishment isn't real. They're not real. Not a single one of those people are real. But you're completely on the mark there, CMP. I like CMP. I always call you a cat, but I like CMP.
Yeah, that's true, Scott. 100% true. That is a great quote because it's so authentically individual for sure. You know, inspiration is half perspiration, blah, blah, blah. Inspiration's in your butt. You remember that one. Yeah, you are one of the best. Definitely, for sure, Cat and Paste. And if anybody has an opportunity, please go and check out Cat and Paste's Instagram because I stop and pause and you know, there's a thing in the feed. If you specifically for Instagram, you get all this nonsense coming through here, like in your Instagram feed. If you look in the top left corner of your Instagram feed, it'll say the Instagram logo. If you touch that, down comes interested or following. Hit following, and then you get to look at the people you actually like. And I look for certain people in that when I get a chance. I don't keep up on it near enough. Welcome aboard, Scott. Welcome aboard, Cat and Paste. Gary isn't here to defend himself. Jim. Scott is another one that has produced what he said he would do. I have all his books and every cover he ever put out. Yeah, but Jim is an example of, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter, whatever way he's approaching his work and his timetable. I mean, let's forget about the fact of time for between his books because people have brought that up a number of times. They're damn good books. And while he is making 5 complete books that follow a continuous story arc, which is massive, he's only done 8 years of posting a YouTube video completely edited every week. Jim is a man of his word and his quality. Cirque is in the house. Yeah, I like to support people that follow it up. That's for sure. Yeah, same with you, Didi. Hiya, 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 hiya. Jim, it's also fun and a hoot. He's just plain fun to be around. He sure is. Yeah, oh, definitely. If you get an opportunity, last night, Jim posted his latest episode on his YouTube stream of, hey man, how's your movie going? And it's really good. It was really good. He had Deacon on last night. Deacon's got a voice, man. You can, as soon as you hear Deacon talking normally, I can hear every character he's done. Every time I'm going to hear a certain character, I'm like, that's Deacon. He's just got a solid, unique voice. And he's a talented musician. Follow-up is huge. Do what you say you're going to do. Yeah, for sure. That's definite. That is absolutely definite. Scott says, it may take me a while, but I finish what I started. I'll finish what I started. Again, time is irrelevant. Time is irrelevant in comparison to your productivity and your growth, your development, your productivity, your output. You know, you're not, I've got this 6-page opus and it's 10 years in and you're still working on your first issue. No, we're not talking about that. Or it's, 10 years in and you've done 16, 24 pages maybe, right? It's not the same thing. It's a huge body of work. Nod. Josh nod and huge hand drum coming says no small feat. Yeah, Josh Campbell's pages are 3 feet by 4 feet. They're not. I think Josh said they're 16 by 20 or 20 by 24. I can't remember what it was, Josh. What's your size of page? This is a standard 1117. This book here. Okay, this is a standard 1117. The only person that I know that does Josh Campbell sized pages is EC Comics guys. You're in this format, I think. Actually, this might be one up. Yeah, no, I think it is. I think Josh, you're this size. You're the same size as Winsor McKay.
I think this is the size of your pages. Can't even get it in the damn camera. I'm gonna move back. Yeah. Yeah, those books are the pages 19 by 24. Yeah, that's 19 by 24 right there. That's Winsor McCay's Little Nemo and Slumberland. These are these pages. Can people see that? Yeah, absolute beautiful work. But these books reprint art at the same size as it was created. So comic pages have gotten smaller, unless you're Joshua Kimball. I love that research. Yeah. To be fair, I've drawn some pretty small feet. Are we talking about like Rob Liefeld small? Guy's feet are spatulas or non-existent. I'm trying to keep up. That is a beast. Oh yeah. Yeah, original page art books are massive. 19 by 24, Josh says. That's a great book that Winsor won. I have 5 Winsor books because I love Winsor McCay's work. Yeah. I've got the Chris, I think Josh and I both have Chris Ware's monograph. Yeah, I got that. That's up there. Anybody build the apartment building out of Ware's big book? I desperately want to build the apartment building, the pop-out that comes with that. A full apartment building replica. Oh, so good. His 3D artwork is equally brilliant. It is, but the time he takes to do these things and the deliberacy of every mark and every line drives me a little bit bonkers. Because I just look at it and go, finish the line! How does he ink this slow and not get ink everywhere? Yeah, but very talented, extremely talented. I've got Chris Ware's sketchbook. Has anybody seen those? Do you want to see something fun? I'll show you a fun thing. Gotta find it now. Yeah, well, I'll find it for a future one. Find it for a future stream. This, however, I did find. This is James Jean's, one of his sketchbooks. And warning alert, potential adult nudity. This is his sketching. That's literally his sketchbook. Just copied and thrown down. You can even see how it's the trace of the page, right? But everything he does, this is this guy that did the cover of the Bill Willingham book, Fables. Bill Willingham and Mark Buckingham, Fables. He's the cover artist for all this. But you're sitting there drawing if you're taking the time to do the whole camera. But look up James Jean's work. Josh says he's the only cartoonist that's so good I almost want to quit. No, enough of that. He says I don't have the sketchbooks. You should get them. Yeah, I'll pull one out. Pull one out tomorrow. Don't quit. Yeah, starting to remind me of you, Didi, going off to his library. That's the problem with when you are spending. The more invested you are, and the more time that you're really investing in research and trying to define and develop what it is that you're doing and what it is that you have to say, there's an inevitability that comes along of you're going to look at other people's work and you're going to explore and examine how it is they're going about doing what they're doing and explore and examine how their working processes might be. Like there's a couple fantastic panel discussions. There's a book where this whole book is just different artist studios where they're talking to, like there's Walt Simonson. I'll just show you the list. This book has Mike Carlin, Randy Stradley, Mike Waringo, Mark Schultz, Dick Giordano, Mike McNola, Brian Stelfreeze, Scott Hampton. There's also Bo Hampton. Chris Muller, Walt Simonson, George Pratt, John Van Fleet, Mark Chiarello, Will Eisner. And it's talking about every one of their processes and approach and how they go about doing what they do and what they feel their strengths are in, and how they have their spaces set up to work. But these are all authentic creators with unique contributions to a genre or to a medium because they allow themselves the time. Let's put it here and put it away for this one. They allow themselves the time and the affordance of mistakes to build up and develop that style, that unique individual personal style. Amazing traditional drawings. And yeah, is that James Jean? Great stuff. I love book flips. Yeah, they're fun. Lovely. Yeah, there's lots of great stuff. The thought processes are huge. I'd imagine having worked at a comic shop would be too hard not to acquire half the store every day. I'm not comic book, like traditional floppy comic book guy. Like we figured it out in the house here in the storage room. I have 6 long boxes, and that's collecting from 1978. But I have 7 bookshelves because I'm not so much a collector of floppy comic books as I am a collector of art books and process books and good storybooks, like good books with good well done art and story is hugely important to me. So yeah, it's 21 years of specifically of managing a shop. I don't have that much. It's but what I do have, I really appreciate. It's nice to see examples of what other people are doing. It's nice to see different perspectives on how we can go about creating. It's important to encourage those that need encouragement along the way. It's important to help inform those that are kind of holding the rest of it back. What I mean by that is if you're, oh, hey, everybody, blah, 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 blah. And, okay, go do that thing. go do that thing. I appreciate everybody is blah, 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 blah. And we all do it. But give yourself the opportunity to go and do that thing rather than yammering on at me while I'm trying to do it. And I know that sounds meaner than I probably intended to be, but, Same here, also graphic novels. Oh, yeah. My desk is 5 feet this way and 5 feet this way, and it's a bookshelf under each side, or 6 feet this way. No, 5 feet, 7 feet. And it's a bookshelf under each side. And that's where all the trade paperbacks, that's where a lot of the trades are. Physical books. Yeah. You like that? Go do that thing. It's hard. It's hard to, especially like, I'm not good at going to art shows, and I'm not good at going to meet and greets because I make things, right? I like making things, and in the process of the making things, I'm less interested in, especially those that talk about the making things that don't make the things. Those people I just don't understand. And I do a lot of this. Cool. Also, when I'm in a crowd, because of my height, there's a certain plateau of sound, and it just becomes when you're my height. And so I literally have to lean over to hear what the hell people are saying to me in those group situations. I also love to read, so there's that. You got to read. Those that don't read, I don't know what to do with. My wife and I have a nightmare every move we've made due to our physical books.
Lori and I have resolved that we're dying in our house. Not that we're done planning on that. We don't. This is our house. We're not going anywhere. Largely because we don't want to take all this with us, and also because we like our house. We got it the way we like it. Takes like half the move time. Oh yeah, just boxing the books is half the move time. Dee Dee has moved over 30 times. Yeah, but military raised, military married, right? That's a lot. I did a lot of moving when I was a kid. I figured that like when I was a young adult starting out, I think I lived in 6 different places before I bought my first house, and then 5 different places, until I settled on my second. So it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's got to be tough, Dee Dee. I can't imagine. See, in my head, you got all of those books and everything else when you got to the last house, because anything else makes me cry. Just the thought about having to pack all that. But those things are just things. This isn't a case of who's got the most toys wins. I don't mind pulling stuff off the shelf, and I don't think Dee Dee does either. In fact, I know Dee Dee doesn't either, because those things are fantastic facilitation to show other people and say, hey, look at this. See how they do this? Which is why I think what I said earlier, Dee Dee. But that's the thing, is that there's so many fine examples out there of how to go about doing stuff. It literally is a case of paying attention, doing some research, putting in a little bit of extra effort to understand how some other people have applied themselves to the things that you've got the same interest in. My wife and I, we got our house. Oh yeah, done. It's a ton of moves. Huh? That's like she's going across the country doing juke moves. That's your show for the day. Hey, can anybody spell the word almonds for me? Philip said, hey, I had to crash out. I was nodding off. So what's this about moving? Everybody's coming to your place, Phil. Dee Dee's really good at it. We're all moving over. Dee Dee's packing all of her places. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for sharing that. If you've got that material, I like sharing it. I don't want to lend anything out anymore because I never get it back. But Almond Brothers. Almond's the word of the day. I've said it 3 times there. I hope everybody's screaming. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this panel up. I've had a lot of fun drawing little details in this establishing scene, so much so that it sort of roots it and grounds it in science world. So best ruler ever. You can find these at Michael's in Canada, and I think Hobby Lobby, if I'm not mistaken. Dee Dee in the United States, and they're $8 Canadian. I don't know what that translates to, a nickel in American, but best ruler I've ever had. It's a weird thing to, have a ruler. That's my favorite ruler. But I do. I'm complex like an onion. I got layers. No more definable movement in this this arm here. Yeah, there's a lot of really good colorists that I've got to see the work of through after having met a lot of really cool people through Dita's channel. Chris Kalou's Cat and Paste is phenomenal. Chris Kalou is really good, especially at reflection, refraction of light on objects. Is something else. I've watched your washing machine. Jesus. Yeah, these rulers are great. I should get one of those rulers. I used to have one in school. Yeah, get them. Best ruler ever. Oh my goodness. It's excitement. I like to see the output that people do. I really like to look at what others are up to, and I especially like to look for when they're putting stuff out. I'm not good. I'm only starting to figure out now ordering stuff online. I really am kind of the whole kids, how does this work kind of a grandpa, and yet I'm deliberately figuring that out in order in order that I can get a hold of people's materials. So I got a whole bunch of orders I got to get placed now. But we've been doing that whole thing the last couple of years where you're doing your everything to be financially free. So I took down another vid and didn't put it back. I can't stay up all night and watch them. That's not good. Well, what are you doing? Yeah, that's tricky. There's a whole bunch of videos that I'll see once and I'll never see them again. There's a thing that I have a folder called Watch Later that not everybody else gets to see, I don't think. And it's literally me just tagging the things that I can't get through. Josh is half watched. I scrubbed through his risk. I just want to see if he wins. I like to see him. I really couldn't stand the idea initially of watching Josh play Risk. I want to play Risk, right? Because I'm a doer. I'm a maker as opposed to a seer. And then I watched him play Risk the one night after having watched him do a really interesting conversation about something or other. And then when he starts playing, he's legitimately you're legitimately inside of his head as he's going, okay, so I see what they've done there, and he talks through it, and it makes it fun. It was really good. It's the whole idea of so what they've done there is a mistake I used to make, where you invest too hard and too fast in all this, and you could take notes watching Joshua Campbell play Risk, and then I'm going to dominate my children. I'm not. All my kids gang up for me every time I play any game against them, but you could just sit down and take notes with how Josh Campbell does what he does. There's so much good. I like his thoughts in it for a few minutes. Yeah, I just found it enrapturing the one night. It's last night he was playing Hickey, playing a Hickey thing there. I thought I was losing it when Philip was doing this. Now you see him, now you don't. Oh no. There's a trick. Sometimes you gotta when we're putting videos down. I don't like that. I'm not going to keep it up. I used to do that at the early days of doing streams. Man, I'm weird looking. Whatever. But cat me out in this one. Yeah. Now I just, there's all kinds of things I say in my streams, and I'm like, what in the... Can't believe we spent that long talking about smells and elevators, Well, I hope that everybody on a creative journey is finding that balance, that work, sense of value balance.
I really do. I hope that everybody, as you're on your unique and individual journey, trying to say the things you're saying, following through on the objective goals, any project you start, you do it, however bad you do it, just do it. Cause then you got something bad to build better on. Right. The book that I'm doing, that I started doing again this morning, Elmwood, I've done 11 issues of Elmwood. And if you were to read the 11 issues together, it's just jumping from art style to art style to art style with every book. And I can't, and then stylistically, my work has changed drastically in the last so many years. So I'm just, the first part of Elmwood 12 is synopsizing the first 11 books. Because the story's there and the story's inclusive to the finished story arc. But I'm building on what I did before. Right? I'm not comfortable with the stuff that I did in the earlier period. It's still out there. I mean, I'm comfortable enough that, here it is. There's no part of me that's going to hide away from the fact that it is what it is. But the creative journey that I'm on, I can't just encapsulate, package all that up together because it's so, I tried to, let's be honest. But it's so different from one thing to the next that it doesn't make sense. Stylistically, if you read a book at a time, you go, oh, okay, I'm into this book on this vibe. But if you try to just go through the whole story beats and putting all the panels in the same run, it doesn't, panel sizes jump and inside images, outside of images, and you know what I mean by enclosed by panel border and whatnot. That all changes. So Elmwood 12, shaking it up. But it's not going to be called Elmwood 12. It's just called The Last Battle. And it's got a synopsis of what happens in the first 11. For those that are just joining us, Didi says, I quit playing online games some years back, but I'm known to watch others play a whole game through on stream. Steam. Is that Steam? Succeed or fail epically, but do it. Yeah, very much so. Okay, so we got the first panel. We got, so this page is, in 500 years, scientists will understand the gnome genome. Scientists will understand the gnome genome. This will be page, I think it's 6 or 7 in the Dr. Corbell Johansson series. So if anybody else has any crazy scientist things, let me know. Discovering the gnome genome. Is that what I said? Yeah. Feel free to put those in the comments. If you put them in the chat, I'm probably going to miss them. I'm back. What did I miss? Truth. I blathered. Josh and Jim made funny witticisms, and everyone's afraid of you. I got nothing. Yeah, we talked about how other people want to see output, and other people would be interested in seeing the output of others. But the trick is doing it. Yep. It's pretty hard, but at the same time, we're trying to be supportive, right? Everybody support and encourage, but at the same time, don't push, build, do the thing. Thanks for another fun stream, Christopher. Later, guys. Thanks, Didi. Thanks for hanging out. Didi can tell when I'm going to sign off. Thanks, everybody. I'm gonna clock out for today. The tagline for today was multiple art projects means you need to be organized. In general, whatever your projects are, get organized. Get yourself organized and start a thing. Chase that thing down. Get it. Do it badly. Just do it. As Joshua said, do eat. Succeed or fail epically. Just do it. Have fun along the way. Make your thing. Do something with it. If you eventually you'll have enough things that you've got something to start with, right? And then the next thing, it's going to be better. And the next thing's going to be better. And so on and so forth. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I got a whole bunch of things.
Joshua Campbell says, Christopher shared the deepest secrets known to man. Deep. Yeah. We also discovered the too legit to quit. Yeah. All right. That's it for me for today. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I don't know if I'll be back around this weekend. Anybody got stuff coming up? Gary, you got Gary Hodges, he does a thing on Saturday mornings, I believe, or is it Sunday? Saturday or Sunday, one or the other. For free? What a guy. Thanks, Christopher. If anybody has any streams coming up this weekend, please put it in the. You can feel free to put it in the videos comments on YouTube, or put it up on any comment thing on any of the social media whatnots I got. I do not mind that, so that we can get each other out and about, looking at each other's thing. I'd love to see. Kat, do you do any videos of you coloring? Of your pencil crayon work and your water? Is it pencil crayon alone, or is it watercolor or inks and whatever else it is? Gary says, yep, live stream tomorrow, 11 a.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time, which means it is going to be 2 o'clock EST. Maths. Philip says, have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, Philip. Yeah, so Gary's got his thing coming up. And Jim's already done his, hey man, how's your movie going? Josh, when are you going to be doing your thing next? Kat, if you do a stream, I think a great deal of people would be interested. Buy a great stream, Christopher. Okay, well, keep an eye out for all these names that you've seen in the stream, in the chat today. Please, everybody, and go check out each other's work. And keep on creating. I look forward to seeing what you're doing. All right. In the meantime, off and running errands. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.